Hi again, and what's up, guys? Hey, no.
Allow it lah. Okay, I just started recording. Wait lah, I scratching my back. Right?
Okay. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Geek Street podcast. So, my name is Jess, and I have my buddies over here, Sean, Harvin, and Eric. Say hi, guys.
What's
Up,
up?
guys?
Hello.
So, as you all know, we are here to talk about What If Episode 2, which is What If T'Challa Became a Star-Lord. So, this has been a roller coaster of an episode. Again, spoiler alert, if you guys didn't watch it, make sure to watch it first before you watch our podcast. So, this episode was really interesting compared to the first one because we see a lot of twists and turns, with Thanos being the good guy and the whole Guardians of the Galaxy with Black Panther merch and everything. So it's quite interesting, and we are going to give our full breakdown. We are going to cover whatever references that we see in there and whatever Easter eggs that we see in there. And another good thing about this episode is that this actually starred T'Challa, who was portrayed by the late Chadwick Boseman. So as we all know, Chadwick passed away last year around the same time due to colon cancer. But it was a very good thing because this What If was actually voiced by Chadwick Boseman himself. So he recorded at least 4 episodes of What If before he passed away. So a very good tribute to Chadwick Boseman and his work. So you guys want to say anything about Chadwick?
Yeah, I feel he's such a his character as the Black Panther. The character has impacted a lot of people, children's. In how it's something that it's not easy to take it in. It's not easy, but life that's what life does. It takes a toll on you. But his work in whatever besides Black Panther is such a great actor. He's such a humble person from what we know. But definitely, I'm glad that Marvel has decided to. The first news that came out that they said that they are not going to recast Chadwick Boseman as the T'Challa character in Black Panther. I'm very grateful they did that because they want the essence of the Black Panther himself to live on, his legacy to live on throughout the whole MCU. So I'm very grateful for that, and it's not easy to to see Black Panther without Chadwick there, but he has seeded enough for us to move forward with the Black Panther character.
In Chadwick Boseman, you see the Chadwick Boseman, the actor, and Chadwick Boseman, the person. We look at other actors or actresses, is that they may, when you see them in real life and when you see them on screen, you can see maybe two different people. But for Chadwick Boseman, I feel he brings himself into on the screen itself, because see, all the movies he acts has a value to it, he doesn't simply just act in any like commercial films or things like he when he acts. I think he likes also that he acts in movies that bring some sort of a value, something that the audience can bring back, with them, a lesson learned and things like that. But besides him being an actor, being an activist, being a human person, there's one I can't really remember what happened, but there was like I think a Black Panther sort of like into where he broke down crying because they were talking about children, who were sick and things like that. But at that time, nobody knew that he also was actually sick, and he had the onset of cancer and things like that. So, for him to in that pain, in that moment, most of us probably will be like just at home, like crying eyes out and thinking why life did this first, but he gave back to the community. He gave back to children who are sick. So he's a very special person that I think who has no faults. We have never found any like scandals or whatever about him. He literally lived a perfect life. So almost perfect. But I think for Marvel to give this tribute to him, to allowing his voice to be part of this what if for one last time, I think brings back a lot of memories about Chadwick Boseman. So I think if he's up there watching us right now, I think he'll be smiling and and he probably be asking us to also contribute good works towards to the community itself lah.
Yeah, I think both Sean and Harvin already put it best. Like the Chad is such a Chad. He's a nice guy. It's really sad at what happened to him, but it's nice that we still get to see him, hear him, and feel him still in our movies, in Marvel movies. So we hope that this continues as much as we can, and I hope we see more tributes for him in the long run.
So let's give a tribute to Chadwick Boseman the way that we know it. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
So now let's move on to the breakdown of What If Episode 2. So the series starts with the mandatory MCU logo with an animated background, and then we have Jeffrey Wright voicing as the Watcher.
Oh yeah, before we dive in straight into the second episode, like I just want to say like the whole intro scene, we started with the same Jeffrey Wright explaining that he's the Watcher and the whole the universe and stuff like that. So when I was watching, I was kind of like, oh, it's the same thing, so I don't have to watch. But then I decided to pay attention. So there's something that I caught. I'm not sure whether you guys caught the same thing or not. When they show Peggy Carter, when the glass shattered and they showed Peggy Carter coming in the front, he says exactly this, where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities, creating alternate worlds from the ones you know. So like the minute they show her, he actually said where a single choice, and they decided to start out with her. So it's like it could either mean that she started the whole thing, she started the whole branch, because according to timeline also she's kind of like the first thing that happened, like 70 years before all this happened. So it's either she started it, or where every person had their own single choice that can branch out into different realities. I don't know, but the fact that he said that direct line when Peggy Carter comes out in that diamond shaped form in the glass, it says something. Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I feel maybe it's just a nod that because because she's the first episode, so she started it all. But the only thing question mark is we don't know if all of this right now is happening in a one alternate reality or it's in a different universe. That is the only question mark right now, so we don't know yet. Yeah. But I feel like maybe they just put it there because we are watching it and she's the first one to make the call to change things. So maybe that's the nod right there. Probably she's the one started all this.
Or maybe they were too lazy to edit every character's face in the closet.
I don't think Marvel's like that lah. You know how they are with their small touch.
Yeah, they'll go with all the details.
So it's very likely that this line that I just read and the fact that it's Peggy Carter at the start and it remains Peggy Carter at the start, it means something. And we started with Peggy Carter.
So when we go back to the like the ancient one in Endgame, right? So we keep going back to that particular explanation that there is one timeline, and then if you remove, you do one thing, and then it branches out to a different timeline. So maybe what they're doing, they're focusing on the Peggy Carter, that particular timeline itself. Maybe, I'm not sure, but it looks like that lah, because when even in the intro when they break the glass, they go into Peggy Carter, and then they see different characters within that particular, and she's the main one, so maybe they are exploring that particular timeline maybe for this season lah.
Could be that universe lah.
Yeah, initially I didn't catch it, but then when I decided to just pay attention to the intro again, I was like, wait a minute. I actually paused and then I actually write down the exact line because it just kind of like feels meaningful. Not meaningless, but I feel like something's there lah for us to capture.
Like it touched your heart. Meaningful.
No, he was like, oh, I caught something. Very good.
Yeah, it's something like that lah, Sean.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so we start with the episode going to planet Morak. They of course put the coordinates over there, M34J6 blah blah blah. It's the same coordinates that we see in the first movie itself. And then we see Star-Lord with a few minor tweaks in his design. It's like a redesign. His helmet now lights up purple color, not red. Reason being purple is because T'Challa, Black Panther relates with the purple color. That's his team color. And even his jacket also is not the red jacket that Peter Quill wears. His one is a purplish one. So nice sense of fashion over there. And then he uses that triangle magnet thing to pull out the orb, like how Star-Lord uses. And he's confronted by Korath the Pursuer, portrayed by Jimon. I forgot what's his full name. Jimon something. So along with the current soldiers, but this is where things are different. So T'Challa says the same line that Quill does. I'm just an ordinary junker and everything. So T'Challa is of course voiced by the late Chadwick Boseman. He recorded at least 4 episodes before he passed away. So in a way, we still have more to enjoy his character. So the difference over here is when Peter Quill introduces himself as Star-Lord, Korath asks who. But in this, Star-Lord is a very, very famous, well-known person that even Korath said that he's a huge fan. But then Star-Lord had to fight Korath, for the orb. And he uses the triangle thing again. He puts it on the floor and it explodes. And I guess this thing is like a multi-function thing, because if you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, it actually implodes. It pulls the soldiers in. But this explodes them out. So there's a difference over there. And Star-Lord, of course, he saves Korath, want to add him into the Ravagers group. And then he's confronted by more of the Sakaran soldiers. And this time he says that Ravagers never fly solo. But in the first movie, Star-Lord actually came by himself, sneaking and everything. So you can see the difference of the impact he made on the Ravagers compared to how Peter Quill did.
Yeah, I think Peter Quill was more like a what do you say, outlaw, like a dirtbag kind of the character. But then Star-Lord is still Star-Lord, but then he has the essence of the King of Wakanda. The essence of Black Panther is still there. Like you can see in his costume. Actually, there's a nice nod in the beginning when Korath was fanboying. He said, "Wait, should I kneel or should I take a bow?" It's like you still have the essence of the Black Panther essence going on right there.
Yeah.
So, but
I agree with Harvin in the sense that you can see the psychological difference if you come from a good family and come from a family that's broken. That sort of thing. These small things when they put in like this, it's really interesting in the way that it's portrayed within the character themselves. There's a very, very good notch in terms of how they position each character. Like for example, like they may take a different character to play a different role within the cinematic universe, but they bring that character along with them. It's not just the look, it is not just the voice, but they bring the entire character with them. So it's kudos to Marvel for putting that like subtly into the series lah.
Yeah, it's like how Jeffrey Wright says at the start, the Watcher says at the start, nurture versus nature.
Yeah.
So it's actually Black Panther's nature to be like that, to be
the caring one, to be the one who
he's meant to be a king lah. So he's
that
kind
essence
of
of royalty. He brought it there.
And the humbleness lah, the humbleness.
The humbleness, yeah. So Yondu saves T'Challa and Korath, and then they have a small conversation over there. Yondu says that during the old days we will just sell this to the highest bidder. And then T'Challa says, but this is the one that pays for your teeth or something along that line. So if you notice in that, Yondu's teeth look good, but in the movie, you know, he had all that gold teeth and everything, like a damn piratey look like that. So, and he also says, won't you use this the bounty that they have to save the Krellorians dying system. So the Krellorians are the pink people that we see in the Guardians of the Galaxy. For example, the Collector's slave Karina and the girl Berit, the one Peter Quill sleeps with in the Milano, and also Roman Day, the officer who arrests the Guardians of the Galaxy. At the end of the movie, you see his wife and kid is the same race. So these are the Krellorians. So they're very integrated into the Guardians of the Galaxy storyline. Okay, and we see the Milano, but now it's no more the Milano. It's called the Mandela. So it's a very good nod to Nelson Mandela because Nelson Mandela is of African origin, and you know, and his dialect is Sosi, read it. So that's the same dialect that they use in the Black Panther movie. So it's a nod over there. And then we immediately jump to T'Challa's younger days, Wakanda in 1988. We see T'Chaka and also the young T'Challa. King T'Chaka, of course, he wears that robe over him. We've seen that in the Black Panther movie at the beginning part when he encounters his brother, and also in T'Challa's flashback scene. So same wardrobe over there. And then, you know, he talks about...
Before, I want to say that even you see the T'Chaka wearing that outfit, the younger version, T'Challa, is also the same. Actually, it's a mirrored flashback scene from the Black Panther movie itself, because it's the same outfit where younger T'Challa wore when during a flashback scene in Black Panther. So it's a very good. And also the voice actor for T'Chaka is actually John Carney, if I'm not mistaken, John Carney, who played the older version of T'Chaka in the movie. But inside the movie, who played the younger version of T'Chaka in the movie is actually played by John Carney's son. But in this series, it's voiced by the father himself, John Carney himself. So there's like a very cool overlap of voicing there.
It's a very good thing that they use the same people to voice this kind of thing, or in relation.
It's very easy for us to familiarize.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so we see T'Challa disappointed that, you know, the father doesn't want to let him explore the world and, you know, stay within the country and everything. So he goes exploring, and then that's when the Watcher says, destiny is just an equation. Okay, it's just an equation, and he says sometimes it can be at the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time. So that's when we see that the Ravager's spaceship comes and abducts T'Challa in Wakanda. So reason why abduct is because it actually plays a very big role, because I was wondering why did they come all the way to Wakanda to look for Peter Quill. But that's when Kraglin, voiced by Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, who acted the same character, he mentions that something not from that planet is in that planet, and that is what was messing up with their geo-locating system. And that's when T'Challa says we have vibranium. So the vibranium messed up their coordination. They ended up in Wakanda and kidnapped the wrong kid. Okay, so it's a very good flow of the story over there. We also see Taserface. Good old Taserface. All of them are voiced by the same actors. And it quickly jumps to... Yondu tells T'Challa that, you know, I can show you the universe. So they go on a universe trip. We are going on
It's like Aladdin.
Rocket ship. I can show you the world. Yeah, so... What's that?
So what Disney did right there.
Yeah, they added some Aladdin element in there. So T'Challa, you know, happily follows and he lives his life as a Ravager. Then fast forward 20 years, we see them on the planet Contraxia. Okay, it wasn't mentioned, but yeah, that was a snow planet we see in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where Yondu meets the other Ravagers, and also that I forgot what race was it, the gold people.
I also forgot what's the race name.
Yeah. So and this time they are having fun in Contraxia, but in a very expensive club and everything. And we see Korat ask about their past
Endeavors, missions.
missions. Yeah. So he mentions Tanex 4. So Tanex 4 was referenced in Captain Marvel because it's the throne world and home world of the Skrulls. So they went and had a bank heist in Tanex 4, and we also Korat also mentions arming the Ankaran resistance. So basically, the Ankaran are a race of bug-like creatures. They are called slicks. So they're like bug-like creatures with tentacle arms, and that's why they say they barely made it out alive from there. And then the big bad comes in. He asked Korat asked T'Challa, how did you manage to change Thanos' mind to not decimate half of the universe? And then we see Thanos. So this was like a moment.
What?
Yeah, I think all of us were shocked. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It was very lively.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw Thanos hanging out with his buddies and drinking, I was like, oh, what happened? What changed? That kind of a thing. So it was really nice. I mean, it's good like that they explore, like they try to do something different a little bit. So it's a good feeling, rather than the same old big bad Thanos, coming, oh, I'm going to destroy half the universe, stuff like that, So,
Yeah, and I'm so happy that they actually used the same voice actor. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, but I think the effect on his voice could have been a bit more better because I didn't feel that deep, like, look at the universe, sort of like
It's very softy.
Yeah, later on, his voice wasn't as deep. It sounded very normal.
Yeah. I think he just didn't want to sound scary, that's all. I mean, it's not supposed to be, lah.
Yeah.
You just want to differentiate the whole thing, his characterization. So it's not only how his appearance, how it looks like, but also how he's voicing. It makes a total difference from how he was.
No, maybe the voice is correlation with the ego, the ego that he has. Not ego, the planet, but the ego, So I think when you have more ego, you tend to sound more like, deep and stuff like that. So nice, lah. Yeah, I would love to have a drink with Thanos one day. In that character.
Yeah, it made me feel that I also want to have a drink. Like, so, what changed your mind? So T'Challa says that he had a good arsenal of argument because his royalty and all diplomatic and everything. So no surprise that he managed to change Thanos' mind to not decimate. So T'Challa is like basically the hero who stopped Endgame in a way. And then of course we see the yellow sex bots from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. These are the sex bots that Yondu had sex with in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And then T'Challa goes to the bar, and who is the bartender? None other than Drax.
Out of nowhere, it's out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere. But Drax, he wasn't voiced by Dave Bautista. He was voiced by another actor. Crap, I forgot the actor's name. But but he sounded very close to Dave Bautista. So I think Marvel did a good job over there. So in this universe, Dave Bautista's wife and Drax's wife and children didn't die. So probably Ronan or the Kree didn't invade their planet because T'Challa saved them. And they take a photo and everything, and we see Nebula. So this Nebula, I'm so happy to see this Nebula because she's not the cyborg Nebula. She's pretty with that gold locks. So
I didn't knew it was Nebula until I heard Karen Gillian's voice. And I was like, wait a minute, is this Nebula? Then
no. For me, I felt like, okay, Gamora or Nebula, which one?
Nebula.
Because like a blue color Nebula, but the hair in the face, maybe can be blue color Gamora in this universe or what,
Yeah, I think the moment she spoke, we knew lah.
Yeah, because the voice and the way she talks.
So we see, I cannot say she's not fully cyborg. She still had that eye thing, but I think this wasn't done by Thanos because when she speaks to T'Challa, she says that she owes a debt to the Collector, and she raises her hair. So probably the Collector did something to her or something, so she owes a debt. And of course, T'Challa says that Yondu was supposed to bring him back to Wakanda, but then Yondu mentioned that Wakanda was destroyed, so he couldn't go back. So it was a very sad thing. And Nebula plans a heist. She said that she has a job for him. And the moment she says that, there's that heist music now.
From Ant-Man.
Yeah. The same thing where when what's his friend's name?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
When he asks about when he talks about the heist, got the music.
Michael Pena is his name.
Yeah. Michael Pena is the real actor lah.
Yeah, but his name I forgot.
Luis.
Yeah, Luis. Yeah, Luis played by Michael Pena. So she talks about stealing the embers of Genesis. So the embers of Genesis, this is the first time it's mentioned over here. It's not comic related or anything. It's a very whole new thing that's brought up. It's a cosmic dust from an ancient supernova that is capable of terraforming millions of planets. Okay, so they want to steal that, and then Tenilia Tiwan is shown as the big bad this time because Thanos gave up, his whole mission to decimate half of the universe. So Tenilia Tiwan took up being the big bad. And Yondu is not happy with this because he doesn't want to go up against Tenilia Tiwan. So he had a conversation with T'Challa, and Yondu says that you are like Robin Leach from your homeworld, and he says no, it's Robin Hood. So Robin Leach is actually a very famous host on a TV show called Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous. So it's about like you're mentioning Robin Hood who steals from the rich, and Robin Leach who is a host about the rich. That kind of relation over there. And they immediately go to nowhere. The coordinates are also the same from the movie, and we see the Black Order running guard in nowhere. So as you all know, the Black Order is consists of Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, Cull Obsidian, and Corvus Glaive. So these four they used to be the children of Thanos, but now they are not. So they are probably like orphans or something.
They are the children of the Collector.
Yeah, children of the Collector.
Yeah, children of the Collector, adopted. So Yondu and Nebula goes into the Collector's place, and they are greeted by none other than Karina. So voiced by the same actor. So Karina is the slave of Tenilia Tiwan. We see her in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, where she grabs hold of the orb and she kills herself because she doesn't want to be a slave. And so Tiwan, the Collector, Tenilia Tiwan, meets Yondu and Nebula, and we see him all buffed and pumped up. Yeah. So and
because in the comics it's like that. He's portrayed more like elders of the universe. He's one of the elders of the universe. So he's supposed to portray like super badass and everything. But in the Guardians, they change it where he's just a collector. He just fantasize in collecting and everything. But in this one, they since it's what if, they just shift it out back, like how in the comics they show he's ripped and jacked. Oh my god! I was like, damn, he's truly, since Thanos taken up gardening, so he's the big bag.
Yeah, Thanos. Yeah. And I think he wears Asgardian armor because the armor that he wears looks very closely with Asgardian design. So like remember how we said that Norse mythology relates a lot in all of the series that's going on. So probably this is one of them as well. And when they meet the Collector, he was actually standing in front of a frozen rhino. So there were rumors saying that this is maybe the rhino from Wakanda, because Wakanda has a huge rhino. But I personally think frozen rhino because during the prehistoric time, there's actually a rhino called a woolly rhino. So you're something similar, frozen in ice and a huge rhino. So it's probably that we can't really say, they didn't really mention over there. And so T'Challa breaks out and he goes to find the embers of Genesis. And this is where it gets interesting. He walks past by Cosmo, the space dog, So Cosmo the space dog was introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy also. He's actually in the comics a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So one day he was supposed to join them. And Cosmo is actually, just to let you guys know, a fun fact, is basically based on a true story, which was called Laika the dog. So Laika the dog was a space dog that was sent, but then died, I think during re-entry or something. So it's a very sad thing. And then he walks past by a dark elf, and then he walks past by a duck. So we see Howard the duck. Yeah. So as you all know, Howard the Duck, he made his appearances a few times in Guardians of the Galaxy after credits, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He even appeared in Avengers Endgame. He was part of that war somewhere at that corner over there. So yeah, I think it's a good thing that he got his cover, because basically his earlier 90s movies failed terribly. So yeah, he got his break over here. So when T'Challa asked Howard where to find the Embers of Genesis, he mentions you have to pass by the Frost Giants. Okay, so we know the Frost Giants are in there. And then the Cronans. So the Cronans are actually a race of stone people, which is Cog's race. Hey man, how are you doing? Yeah. And he mentions Elvish literature. So when you say Elvish literature, it's probably the Dark Elves, but who knows? It may be a nod to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I was hoping it was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, because the literature. So let's just say it's that lah. A Lord of the Rings character is somewhere over there. And then Howard goes to sit at the bar, and the bar looks very close to Star Wars, the bar in Mos Eisley.
Yeah.
Where Obi-Wan and Luke goes in. It looks very close to that. And the bartender, the robotic bartender that looks a bit like the Celestial with the 6 eyes, is actually the same bartender from Thor Ragnarok. If you see in Thor Ragnarok, when Thor is in the sort of like that laser grid cage with all the other fighters, he tries to speak to Valkyrie, and she'll be taking a drink at the bar, and that bartender, the same robotic bartender, is there. So they probably stole that bartender, put him here or something. Okay, and of course we go outside and we see Thanos and Korat, causing a diversion. They're causing a fight, and when Proxima Midnight finds out, she says it's a diversion, and they put the whole place under lockdown. When they put the whole place under lockdown, T'Challa runs. He makes a run for it, and he comes into this huge vault with a bunch of spacecraft, and all of the spacecrafts are not just random drawings, they're all related. So we have the Necrocraft, which was driven by the Sakaran pilots, in Guardians of the Galaxy. And then we have the Nova Corp craft. I forgot what's the craft called. Starburster, if I'm not mistaken, but that star-shaped craft. And then we have the Commodore, which was the Grandmaster's sex ship.
Yeah, fetish.
Yeah, his fetish ship, which Thor and Bruce Banner steals. And then we have another 2 ships from Sakaar, which was shown in Thor Ragnarok itself. And then at the one corner, you can see Hank Pym's quantum realm ship, that big circle thing. So I don't know how did 1081 got that ship, probably from the quantum realm or something, but yeah, it's a very good nod. So then when T'Challa is walking, his necklace glows, the Wakandan necklace glows, and he finds the Wakandan spaceship. So he enters the Wakandan spaceship, and we see like mannequins of the Dora Milaje over there. So what happened to the Dora Milaje? Were they killed, or did they live on their lives in the galaxy? But this shows that the Wakandans were capable of space travel, and this wasn't mentioned anywhere in the movie, but this shows that they are so advanced that they are capable of space travel. So,
I think in the long run, if the movie still evolves, they definitely would have space travel. It's just that now we are seeing it. In the long run, the movie definitely, their technology is so advanced, and pretty sure soon their spaceship can space travel. But finally now we are seeing it. So it's a not maybe in the movies soon their ship can space travel into the far distance.
No, to me, right? Sorry, Sean. To me, right? I think they in the movies itself, they already had the capabilities to space travel, but they didn't have a purpose. Like, cause we know that Wakanda tends to just shut themselves. They just wanted to be their own until T'Challa came and take the throne.
I heard Roti Chala.
Sorry, I'm hungry. So this time they had a purpose to space travel. So they actually went out. If it wasn't for him being abducted, I think they would have just minded their own business and stayed in Wakanda forever until Endgame or Infinity War came. Right.
Whatever happened during that universe.
Yeah. So I think they could have done it like 70 years, 50 years ago. It's just that they didn't need to. They didn't want to, need to.
Yeah, exactly. I think they would have went cosmic. I mean, they have the capability, they have the intelligence, to do it. But it's just that maybe it wasn't their time, or wasn't necessary for them to show it. But I think as we go into phase 4 and then phase 5, as they're going more cosmic, we will see that. I think in Black Panther 2, I think we might see that.
Yeah, they definitely will, since everything is going up to space now. And this kind of shows that, T'Challa was like a bad brat, because, he just left. Oh, I want to go see the universe. But the parents are sending out their military crew looking for this guy. So, not so royalty over there, I would say. And then we have Nebula double-crossing T'Challa and the Ravagers. Of course, this was a trait of Nebula introduced since the beginning of the MCU, a person who double-crosses and everything. And then, they're imprisoned, so T'Challa and Yondu have like a family fight. Oh, we were never families to begin with and everything. Because Yondu lied to T'Challa saying that Wakanda was destroyed, but in fact it wasn't. So, Wakanda says that, you're a family with me and blah, 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 that kind of thing. And then we see Corvus Glaive. He comes and takes T'Challa. And Tivan, the Collector, imprisons T'Challa in one of those cases. And we see Squidward with Karina.
Squidward?
Yeah, Squidward.
SpongeBob.
So Ebony Maw was, as you all know, okay, Eric doesn't know. In Infinity War, Tony Stark calls Ebony Maw Squidward.
Oh, okay. I thought it was actual Squidward, dude. SpongeBob. So why I didn't notice?
Hey, who knows? With him collecting, probably Squidward will be in one corner of those cases.
Could be that.
Yeah. So, and then we come back to the imprisonment and we see Nebula actually triple crosses. So now she double crossed the Ravager, but she triple crossed the Collector and the Black Order. So she kills Corvus Glaive, and the team escapes, and she gets hold of the embers of Genesis. And in the meantime, T'Challa breaks free by using his vibranium necklace.
It's a very good nod, when he shows that, because in in the movies, when he's wearing his suit, he has the claw, from his suit. So it's like, you see how they play around. It's Guardians of the Galaxy, but they still have the essence of the Black Panther vibes going on. That I also felt like, okay, he's going Black Panther using the claws from his necklace and then breaking out.
Yeah. Speaking of Black Panther vibes, even when he walks into the Wakandan spaceship, the music that they played, it's very, very, very Wakandan, and it's very nice. So it doesn't feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, but it feels like two different movies at same level, like that. So he escapes, and then he fights with Ebony Maw, and Karina shoots Ebony Maw, and he dies. And then he encounters Tanila T1. So that time T1 was using a stone glove, and it's so sad because he said he actually took this off the carcass of a Chetty Cronin. And who's a Chetty Cronin? None other than Korg himself.
A moment of silence for Korg.
Yeah.
Please don't do this to him. He's not fair. He's the nicest guy we know.
Yeah, it's so sad. Like, hey man. So okay, they're fighting, and then this was the sort of like the big Easter egg, because T1 brings his weapons vault, floating weapons vault, and then over there we see Captain America's shield. I got no idea how he got the shield, how that even happened. So if he got Captain America's shield, it means Is he in the same universe with Peggy Carter?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I saw it.
Maybe not necessarily, because if let's say he got the shield, maybe it can be an alternate universe where he got the shield from Captain America. Maybe he killed Captain America or something, or somehow or other.
No, but we don't know when the shield was created, right? Maybe because Steve was supposed to enter the chamber to get the super serum. So the shield could have been created way before Steve. I mean, it was probably pre-planned with his suit and the shield.
No, we know when he got his shield because the moment he became a super soldier, Howard Stark will give him options. Choose what shield you want. He'll give him all the elaborate damn tuned shields. But he takes that circle one, which wasn't painted. Then Howard Stark paints it for him.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So probably it's alternate universe.
My argument is invalid.
No, we don't know where this particular thing is in the timeline and stuff, whether or how many years into the future this is, because this is in space and things like that. So there's so many ways to explain this, but I hope they revisit this or maybe it is just a simple mistake and we are just getting ahead of ourselves and thinking too much.
Yeah, and I don't think we should ask that many questions because then we'll have to ask the question: where did he got Mjolnir from? Where did he get the dagger from? Where did he get Hela's helmet from?
Yeah.
So there's too many questions lah. So we just leave it as that. But yeah, those are the Easter eggs. The dagger, which is the Dark Elf Malekith's dagger. Hela's helmet, Mjolnir, I mentioned. And when he wears Hela's helmet, he uses the Necro Sword, which Hela uses. So he gives credit to the goddess of death while fighting them. Okay, and then we see the Ravagers escape. So Thanos, being the good father, the big daddy, he stays back to fight. And he says, "I'm not crazy, mad." So implication that he's the Mad Titan. So he fights.
In this scene also, I feel that when he fights, you can see the power of Thanos.
Yeah.
Actually, he it's not like he, even though he never really wanted to decimate half the universe, but he still has that power within him that shows that he's born with that thing. He's naturally that powerful.
Yeah, they were shooting at him and he wasn't injured also.
I think Sean is a Thanos.
No, I was waiting for them to do like a Easter egg where he would have got punched and it said all that for a drop of blood. I was waiting for that kind of a scene, but
I was waiting for that. Yeah. I was expecting that also.
No, Thanos is actually nice. He's just like Hitler. He wants to save the world in the wrong way.
Eric, I think we shouldn't say those kind of things here.
No, but Thanos is like we all know that he's actually nice. Like, he just got the wrong way of doing things. So in this universe, we see him just deleting that part of himself and just going through that nice and good.
He sort of took a chill pill lah.
Yeah.
So he fights Carl Obsidian and also Proxima Midnight, and then Nebula comes to save her daddy. So at first they had this disagreement going on between them, saying they're adopted and they don't like each other, but they still have care, so Nebula comes to save, and then she drops just a little dust of the embers of Genesis into Carl Obsidian's mouth, and we see how strong this thing is. Just a little speck of dust could transform that entire nowhere base into a plant, because with all the vines all growing, it was fully terraformed. So you can imagine how powerful this thing is. So and I feel so bad for Carl Obsidian because he always has the worst death. In Infinity War, he dies by scratching on that hologram. force field. And this one, he just explodes and the vine grows and everything. So and then we go back to the fight between Tivan, T'Challa, and also Yondu, and they do the sticky fingers trick. Okay, the sticky fingers trick. So this is like a nod to Iron Man when he grabs hold of Thanos and he steals the Infinity Stones. So this one, Yondu steals T1's glove, and then
like for Thor Ragnarok when Thor and Loki does get help, if you all
get
remember.
help.
So it's like not like they have this code, get help, sticky fingers. Okay, I do this, you do this, then we can get this outcome. So it's so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then this part was I think was a really cool part when T'Challa prepares his jet boosters, and then the music comes. This is the same music from the fight scene in Black Panther when they fight in the bar, in Japan or Korea.
Not mistaken, I think it was Japan. I guess. Not mistaken.
Yeah. I guess so. So yeah, that song, like that, and then he just flies and knees T1 in the face like a footballer sliding on the grass like that, and T1 lands in the box and they lock him in. Once they imprison him, Karina releases the other prisoners to take revenge on T1 lah. So the Yondu and T'Challa finally take the Wakandan ship and they escape, and we see Cosmo the dog join them, so he's going to become the Guardians of the Galaxy member. And then they come back home in Wakanda. So when he came back to Wakanda, I thought he would only come back to Wakanda, but he brought his whole gang with him.
His family.
Yeah, his family. Thanos plays a very good Vin Diesel, I would say. Family. So they meet up with the family. So we see mainly Shuri, King T'Chaka, who is not dead, who is still alive in this universe, and Queen Ramonda. So their outfit is all the same as what they wore in the movies. And then we go to the last bit. Okoye talks to Thanos saying that I think it's still genocide, and he says no, it's an efficient. And then Korat talking to Shuri saying that, me and Star-Lord are best friends. And the one that cracked me up was when Cracklin, he was talking to Wakandan, he said, oh yeah, jump portals are fun. It makes your face all scrambly. So this is a direct nod to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the part where their faces will just go all crazy and weird. Yeah, it's quite fun. And then...
Okoye, the voice was Danai Gurira herself again. But you just see how it's just for a small scene, and I think she just said about 2 words, if I'm not mistaken, but it brought back the original voice cast just to do that. They wanted, I think Marvel is trying all their best to bring back all the original cast to come and voice back, regardless of what we navigate, maybe some contract issues or maybe because of some delay of scheduling or whatsoever. But they're trying their best, and I'm glad they're actually bringing all the original voice cast back for What If.
That's one respect for Marvel lah. Not like other series, they just simply use random voice actor. They try their best. And then so we jump to the ending part. We see Peter Quill, who wasn't abducted by the Ravagers. So now he's working at Dairy Queen. So this Dairy Queen is the exact Dairy Queen from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when Ego brings Peter Quill's mother, Lily. Is it Lily?
Yeah, it was Lily.
Yeah, so brings her behind the Dairy Queen to see the seed that he planted in the ground. So he works at Dairy Queen, and then Ego comes and meets Peter and say, don't have time to talk to your dad. And then we see the Watcher saying that this sadly would mark the end of the world. Why it says end of the world is because when Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Peter Quill was experienced with all his past endeavors. He held the Power Stone, and his will was very strong, and he knew what was bad. But in this, he's still naive. So Ego could have easily taken him over to destroy the universe. So in that sense, impending doom over there.
Which is most likely going to happen lah. The way the Watcher says it, it's going to lead to the end of the world. And we're going to see it. I think we're going to see it because even the Watcher says we just have to wait. He says something like we just have to wait and see or something. Or we will talk about it sooner. Something like he says at the end. So we know that it's going to be one episode about it. Coming soon.
About the end of the world.
Yeah.
Or maybe, but before that, I think Ego also was voiced by Kurt Russell anyways. And maybe it also shows that this is a one universe where, because we know how Guardians of the Galaxy 2 would have played out, if at all, if Peter gave up his will, then everything would have gone like, how the end, where his spore just expands and take over the whole planet. Maybe it would have played out. So maybe it's in a way where this is happening in another universe, because when like how Watcher said, this is the end of something, or maybe it will be a continuation, or maybe not. So if it's maybe not, maybe this is the end of this universe that we're watching now, this T'Challa Star-Lord universe. It goes to end, but somehow T'Challa survives because we will see him in upcoming episodes. So we never know.
Yeah, there's so many ways it can play out, lah. So we just have to wait and see. And yeah, basically that was the end. And then at last we see a tribute to late Chadwick Boseman. A very nice ending over there to thank him, for playing his character as T'Challa. And so that is all from us on What If Episode 2, which is What If T'Challa became a Star-Lord. So hope you guys enjoyed our podcast, all the Easter eggs and references that we provided. If there's anything that we missed out, you can always leave it in the comment below. We'll be very happy to learn from you guys as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe our page, The Geek Street. So this is The Geek Street, and the street has spoken. Till then, see you guys for What If Episode 3. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right. Bye.